Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below and click the playlist button for more rooted videos. And a big thank you to our sponsor, Brightbound, for supporting this conversation. Brightbound is reimagining career readiness, helping middle and high school students explore their passions, try out career paths, and make confident decisions about their future. Dr. Kareem Edouard is a co-creative producer for Work It Out Wombats and is also a professor of STEM education at Drexel University. Kareem, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So first tell me, how did the character Devante and his family come to be?
So part of the history of Devante is really me trying to fulfill a childhood dream of seeing more Haitian representation in children's media. As a young Haitian from Miami-Dade County, there was very little opportunities, particularly in animation, to see not only my Haitian language on screen, but then also to see characters that represent, the vast Haitian diaspora. So as I entered into children's media, I felt that it was absolutely important to design a character that not only represents the Haitian community and the Haitian language, but then also the research work that I do with young Black children in West Philadelphia in getting them into STEM education.
And it's, of course, as I mentioned, not just Devante himself, but his parents, his father, Jean-Michel, and his mother, Marie. Why was it important to introduce them as well?
So part of the larger discussion is making sure that we share with a larger audience just the tight-knit and then warm relationships within a Haitian family. So Jean-Michel and Marie are actually named after my parents. So that was me giving a love letter to my Yes, giving a love letter to my parents to just give them the celebration for the hard work that they put in as a Haitian immigrants, just raising me and giving me these opportunities. But then also to extend that conversation is that there are a bunch of Jean-Michels and Marie that are in our Haitian diaspora that are across the United States, Boston, Brooklyn, Miami, that really are working hard day to day to provide this household for young Haitian children. So that was part of that framing of designing these characters.
And are your parents fans? Do they think it's an accurate ode to them on screen?
So it's funny, they haven't seen it yet, but they will, as far as I've shown them some of the character sketches and designs. So I'm really actually waiting to see what my mom thinks about how I represented her through the lens of Marie very soon. But my sister and then my other cousins are absolutely up in arms. And actually, my sister's not happy because I didn't give Devante a sibling. So she's a little stressed out about that. But by and large, there's been a wonderful and well reception for the designing and the creation of these characters.
Yeah, maybe there's room for Devante to have a little sister somewhere down the line.
Most definitely.
So you talk about, the importance of having Haitian representation. And I think Black people from all over the diaspora can relate to obviously seeing ourselves on screen, but in cartoon form, something different and something very magical happens. Like you think about when we saw characters in Hey Arnold or in Doug or Cousin Skeeter, whatever it may be. And there's this fantasy element, but there's also still this real life reflection. How do those two things come together?
So one of the things for me in my research, my academic research, is that I try to frame that equity and identity are absolutely important, particularly in STEM media. But then in my consulting and then producing work, myself and my partner, Dr. Darlene Edouard, we have a very clear saying that animals are not a proxy for race and culture. So a lot of times when we have animated design and representation, we throw an animal in there, or we build stereotype representation. So Devante became very important because we're going straight at the challenge of what is this to design animal ecosystem, their lived environments, but at the same time bringing in what does a cultural framing from where they're from express in the character itself. So to kind of extend that, Devante represents the Black squirrels that I used to see in graduate school at Stanford in the Bay Area. And I would see all these Black squirrels. And that was the first time I'd ever seen Black squirrels. I'd always seen the brown ones, right? So as I started to study more, right, about what Black squirrels were, where they were from, and just some more about their framing, I knew that that was in my back pocket, that if I ever had the opportunity to design characters, particularly in children's media, that required that discussion, that would be the starting point. And then to extend that discussion is that it became important for me to now integrate the Haitian language and the Haitian culture, particularly through the solidarity of freedom, emancipation. And I saw Devante being a black squirrel, or in this case, a dark purple squirrel, as that opportunity to create those markers and those allegories within the treeborhood.
I love this. And I got to tell you, the first time I saw a black squirrel was on the campus of Howard University. And my friend was like, yeah, even a squirrel is black, right? So, yeah,
yes, exactly. So you understand the assignment.
I absolutely do. And Kareem, does this feel sort of like a full circle moment for you, given what you worked on in your doctorate research?
Yes. So my work, my dissertation, and then my work moving forward was about representation in media. So particularly what I researched in my doctoral work really was about if you were to toggle identity in digital text, right? So if in the research, what I did is I cast 25 different actors of 25 different native languages within a particular community in the Bay Area. And how I designed the book was allowing the kids an opportunity to toggle the different actors and the language accents within those textbooks. And we were able to measure that having the opportunity to hear someone that not only sounds like you, but looks like you really provided an opportunity not only for long-term retention in the learning, but then also much more connection to the text. So I fast forward this to my work as a producer of children's media, is that there has to be this opportunity where in today's space where technology allows for us to now create a much more global representation, particularly in our digital textbook formats, but then also in how we present our media, that to make these parasocial relationships, it becomes important that for us as creators, as writers, and developers of this content, that we take in a broad discussion on who gets to see our content and make those connections.
And on the flip side, before we were in this digital age and we had access to all these types of technology, what was lacking when we didn't have that representation in our media?
Two very clear things that I always talk about. One, empowering writers and creators, particularly Black creators and writers, to make the content. As much as we celebrate shows like Craig of the Creek or Dr. McStuffins, these shows are seminal within the Black community, but they're not created by Black creatives or Black writers. So then it becomes problematic in how we extend their representation. The second thing becomes resourcing and platforming. So when you do have a show like Ghostwriter, right, which was seminal for me growing up watching on PBS, and Jamal, the character representing me on Ghostwriter, you have this one show, but it doesn't extend past that. You do have a Seabear and Jamal. You do have a Static Shock, but then these become very small steps for the larger discussion that we just had. So resources, platforming, and more importantly, empowering Black writers and Black producers then become the sticking point before this digital age.
Now, in this first episode where Devante is introduced and his family, we see very characteristic things of Haitian culture happening. They're speaking Haitian Creole. They're dancing compa, right? Are there more of those nuggets that we'll get, or are there even more broader representations of Haitian's culture we can look forward to?
So a couple things. And I pride myself to say this, that the first Haitian tap-tap is seen in children's American television. So that was one of the most important things. So a tap-tap, if your viewers aren't familiar, is a vehicle, a transportation vehicle like a bus that's in the streets and the city of Port-au-Prince and throughout Haiti. And those vehicles, the tap-tap, have beautiful designs that tell stories of the community. So when I used to be a teacher in Haiti and Port-au-Prince, I would see these beautiful representations of tap-tap that would tell stories. So for example, when LeBron James used to play with D-Wade in Miami Heat, there was a tap-tap in Port-au-Prince showing LeBron James taking his talents to South Beach. So then I started to realize that the tap-tap was telling a story through communities. So on the show, the tap-tap does that. We have the Haitian crest and insignia in the front of the tap tap. We have other little Easter eggs that give you the representation, number one, of the freedom, 1804, liberation of Haitians that are found on this tap tap. Also, too, Devante is wearing the 1974 soccer jersey, which was the last time that the Haitians were in the World Cup. And it just lined up perfectly that this year that we made the World Cup. So him wearing the Haitian soccer jersey, the red and the blue, represents all of the triumph that we as Haitians and the representation that we have in little Easter egg nuggets on the show. And if you pay close attention, you'll find it because we wanted to show one very clear thing. We're not a monolith. And more importantly, Haitians have a very deep and rich history.
And a history that precedes so much of diasporic history, right? Like we're all, obviously with Haitian being the first successful revolution of enslaved peoples, like that is such a center point for so much of Black culture. So it's important to have so many people tap into that. Now, Kareem, I do want to ask you, because you've talked a little bit about how there's so much technology, so much content at our fingertips. And we know that younger and younger kids are being able to just go on YouTube, go on TikTok, right? Find whatever they want to find. And sometimes they may be coming across some things that may not be age appropriate, or may be, advancing them in a way that previous generations probably may not have been. And so how do you continue to engage younger audiences while keeping it age appropriate and aging along with them?
So one of the clear things for the work for me, there's my shows on Work It Out Wombats, and then I also produce a live action show called Maynard's Wild World of Science, which centers Black science communicators engaging in the larger world of science and STEM engagement. If you talk to young people and engage with them directly, they will tell you what they're looking for and how they feel. So here at the university at Drexel, my research centers on engaging with elementary and middle school students in informal STEM spaces. So even right now in my lab, I have a group of young people that are working on STEM media projects that are telling the stories of their community. This is the reason why this is important, because the research I do is trying to make young people creators. They are creating the language. They are creating the frameworks and the narratives that cut through the slop. Because let's be very clear, this is what's happening now. The slop that's kind of choking up the distribution point of how they're seeing things on tablets and phones. So if we turn to young people, give them the tools and provide them the resources to tell the stories of their community. So for me, it's here in West Philadelphia. And then other places, there's this opportunity for them to have direct interaction, build those relationships, and then more importantly, be able to platform their voices so that way they could be the next future creators and executives that are shaping culture moving forward.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Kareem, this has been fantastic, and can't wait to see Devante and his family blossom on Work It Out Wombats. I am going to ask you before we leave, I don't know if Devante has a signature catchphrase yet, but if there's something that he would say in Haitian Creole that you can teach us here on Rooted today.
Yes. So the one thing that's important for any Haitian is the greeting. So this is a classic one that everyone knows and everyone has heard somewhere. So whether you in Boston, whether you in Brooklyn, you in Miami, you in Montreal, you in Chicago. See, I'm going through the list of where we represent. But when you see a Haitian, all the time they say sac passe. So let's try it. Sac passe.
Sac passe.
And then they'll always answer. Ma boule. So, sac passe.
Sac passe.
Ma boule.
Ma boule.
Ma boule.
Ma boule.
So part of that is just seeing exactly. So that's just seeing each other and engaging and building community. But the thing that Devante also says that's super important is zami. So zami means friend. So throughout the show, he's building friendship. So when he sees you, he says, bonjour, zami.
Bonjour, zami.
Bonjour, zami.
Bonjour, zami. Sac passe. Merci beaucoup.
There it is. So you good. You're now officially in it. So thank you very much for this opportunity. It's great sharing with good folks.
Absolutely. That is Dr. Kareem Edouard. Take good care. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below and click the playlist button for more Rooted videos. And a big thank you to our sponsor, Brightbound, for supporting this conversation. Brightbound is reimagining career readiness, helping middle and high school students explore their passions, try out career paths, and make confident decisions about their future.